Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Friday morning. It's now the 14th day of November, 2025, and this is the morning briefing coming to you from the home weather office where we had really good rain yesterday. I'm sure you did too. But today, outside the home weather office, at least as I'm recording this around 8:15, we have some blue sky and we have some clouds, no wind, and it is dry for now, but we're likely going to see more rain. It's scattered showers today, although some areas will see more, and I'll show you more on that in a minute. But there are also chances of rain over the course of the weekend, as well as into next week. This continues to be a pretty tricky situation as it impacts the entire state. First in Northern California yesterday, today, and tomorrow more in Southern California, but even parts of the central and northern part of the state will be affected as we go through the next couple of days. So let me show you what's happening this morning. We'll start with the radar, give you a few different looks here. And again, this is the radar as of around 8:15 in the morning. And look where the rain is. This is a lot of ground clutter here, by the way, but this is actual rain. Going through Mariposa, Tuolumne counties, there have been occasional showers here on the west slope, but generally east of Highway 49. That will likely be changing as we go through the day. All right, let's continue to move throughout the state. Let's see how it looks from the Monterey radar. Some really good rain here. Looks like the Hanford radar is out. But what about Southern California? This is where we're expecting some of the best rain during the day today. And now we are getting rain in Southern California, as you can see here. Let me animate this. And it's this flow. You see how this flow is coming up from the south? Well, we talk about orographics all the time, and here in Southern California, the mountain range is basically going this way, east to west or west to east. And here comes this flow out of the south, so that's how we're going to get these great rain totals here on these south and southwest facing slopes. Also get some good rain into Los Angeles County today. And then let's see what's happening with the radar in San Diego. Really not much yet in San Diego, but that will likely be changing. All right, so let's see how how we're doing. And let me go to this, pull this full screen. Here we go. Yesterday, we had a low spinning around out in here. Today, that low is now down in here. See how the clouds are moving this way, and then they're going this way. So here's that southerly flow that I showed you on the radar going into Southern California. And then behind it, to the north, come on, don't do this to me. Still says loading, spinning around, as you can see here. The bane of my existence. Here we come. Here we come. Come on. You can do it. Thank you. All right, so we have a little bit of fog here in the valley, rather typical in the areas from Chico to the north as we had all that moisture and then clear skies. And then here's the moisture coming up the west slope. So some areas this morning have sunshine, other areas cloudiness, and we'll just have to watch how much northward extent we get with the cloud cover and the showers during the course of the day today. So how did we do yesterday? Pretty darn well. And I tell you what, the models did a really good job with these rain totals. 1.5 to 2 inches of rain in Sacramento County. Into the foothills, more than 2 inches of rain. The Placerville Airport right here, 3.36. More than 2 inches in Auburn, more than 2.5 inches in Grass Valley. Tuolumne County also did quite well. The valley, kind of hit and miss. There were some spots that saw less than an inch of rain. The Bay Area saw some really good rain. Look at the mountains in Santa Cruz County. Saw more than 3 inches of rain. Let me widen out even more here. So Southern California, as you can see, south of Los Angeles, so far the totals have been very light. Less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. But here's that flow going into those mountain slopes that I talked about. 3-4 inches of rain already, and they have more on the way. Yeah, it's pretty wet here. I do want to point out one thing. We talked yesterday about why we weren't too concerned about streams and creeks and that sort of thing. So we have, in the last 24 hours, had 2 to 3 inches of rain here in the American River watershed. And you would think that a lot of that water would be making its way downstream. Well, let's take a look at Folsom Lake. This is Folsom Lake. What I want to pay attention to is the inflows here. The inflows they're only around 2,000 to maybe 3,000 CFS, which if you get a good rain like that during the middle of the winter, after the ground is already saturated, we'd be seeing inflows of 10, 20, 25,000 CFS, something like that. But because the ground is still relatively dry, a lot of the rain that falls just soaks in. So that's why you don't get a lot of runoff early in the season, unless it's something really exceptional, like we saw with that storm back in October. What year was that? 21? 22? I get my years confused. But anyway, that big storm we had in October where we had over 5 inches of rain. But usually, this time of year, we just don't have enough runoff to cause big inflows. So I just thought that was kind of interesting thing to look at. Really good rain in the foothills as well as into the valley, but a lot of it just soaks in. And that's why I say it's a really beneficial sort of rain that we saw yesterday. Because it just helps everything. It gets everything nice and wet. I heard from some of the ranchers yesterday saying, yeah, this is great to have the grasses already green because you can put the cows out and you're not worried about feed and all that kind of stuff. Here's the way the HRRR shows the rain this morning. It looks pretty similar to what we saw on the radar images. As we go into the afternoon, you'll notice how we continue to get scattered showers on the west slope, a couple of showers in the valley, and still not much in the way of snow just yet. This is this evening for Friday night football. Looks generally dry, although there could be some showers in Tuolumne County. Now let's get into the day on Saturday. Look at the rain in Southern California on Saturday. So that would be into San Diego and Los Angeles. So for those, this is when you're going to see your best rain. I know it's been advertised for a long time, but you really have to wait until tomorrow. This is tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock in the morning. Northern California is still dry from, let's say, Stanislaus County to the north. But how long does that last? A couple of showers here. You'll notice that on the Grapevine, it is just wet. It's not snowing. This is Saturday afternoon. And then this is Saturday evening. Look at all that rain coming up. And finally, maybe getting a little bit of snow. And then that is Sunday morning at 4 a.m. So we may not be done with the rain just yet. Let's see what the 12-hour QPF is on that. The 12-hour QPF, so this is just in that last little bit that I showed you, shows more than an inch of rain in San Joaquin, Stanislaus, and as well as Merced County, and less as you go farther to the north. That's just a 12-hour. What about a 6-hour? So just get an idea of how hard it's raining. Well, that may be overdone, but it shows you there could be some downpours in that as well. An inch and a half in 6 hours. Most areas are around 1/10 of an inch per hour over those 6 hours. But yeah, that little spot in Stockton really popping up. And these 1-hour totals, you can see here, this model is spiking right here in 1 hour between 2 and 3 a.m., getting a half an inch of rain in Stockton. We'll see. This is just model data. You really can't read too much out of that. So if you just kind of back up a little bit, you would think that maybe somewhere in the middle of the night on Saturday night, Sunday morning, that there could be some heavier rain. As well as finally some snow. How much snow are we talking about? Total snow, a couple of inches. So there could be some chain controls first thing Sunday morning, but it still looks like it's going to be relatively warm. Okay, that's the way the HRRR shows it. So we don't want to just show you one model, of course, because you really shouldn't make a forecast based on one model. Let's back things up and let's go out to this morning's NAM, because there's a lot more out here. All right, we go through today again, and this looks similar. And then this is tonight. Here comes that rain coming up from the south on Saturday afternoon. This is Saturday around 4. Saturday night, Sunday morning, that looks pretty similar to the HRRR. That's Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Snow in the Sierra, rain in the valley. Yeah, we could finally have chain controls in the Sierra on Sunday. So yeah, this is Sunday morning. Rain tapering off Sunday afternoon. And then I wanted to show you this next system that we're looking at for Monday, because now we finally have some colder air in place. And as this one drops our way, Monday morning, once again, we're going to be dependent on where this low goes. This is at 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Oh, this run a lot less wet than the previous runs. However, we might see some wind with this. Let's see. What I saw last night's run showed some gusty winds with this, which you would expect from a little low dropping our way. All right, let's see what happens with this wind. It gets breezy at best. Yeah. Interesting. All right, let's go out to the GFS. Not sure how much of that is in just yet. No, it's in enough. All right, see the way this shows Sunday, Monday. All right, here's the rain on Sunday. This is that system on Monday. So this is, excuse me, this is before the sun comes up on Monday, but this is Monday, and this looks a lot different than the NAM does. So look where the low is. Yeah, the NAM had it down here. The GFS has it up here. Snow in the Sierra. We could have chain controls on both Sunday and Monday. Tapers to scattered showers, and then we are dry before another one maybe comes in on Thursday. Keeps the party going into Friday. Yeah, we're into an active pattern, no doubt about it. But let's go back to the NAM, and let's just talk a little bit more about the weekend itself. So I just want to go over this because here it is Friday morning. You want to make weekend plans. Okay, so Friday night football is okay in our area. Saturday is when Southern California gets the really good rain. This is Saturday morning around 10. We get that rain coming back up from the south on Saturday afternoon, impacting through much of the area from Stanislaus County and Yosemite all the way into Butte County. And this would be Saturday night, Sunday morning. And Sunday morning looks like it could be pretty wet. We could have chain controls again on Sunday with the snow level around 6,000 or 6,500 feet, with maybe the rain tapering off briefly before the next one comes in on early Monday. But we're going to have to see where the path of that one goes. So yeah, really interesting pattern setting up, and really tricky as well, because we're depending on the exact path of where one of those lows is going to track. So today, yeah, let me give you another look outside the window. This looks pretty nice right here. And this is the way much of the day is going to go. But we will be seeing some rain in the foothills. We'll see some rain in the Sierra, especially south of Highway 50. And then a lot of tomorrow is dry until we get into the evening. And then Sunday, especially Sunday morning right now, looks as though it could be pretty wet. And for Sierra travel, while we do not have chain controls now and don't expect we'll have them throughout the day today, we could have them by Sunday and Monday. Something to keep in mind that if you do have Sierra travel. Because we still have this rather changeable pattern going on, I'll do another update on Sunday, and we'll see how things get resolved. So it'll be able to help you plan your week, as well as get a better idea of chain controls and what's going on. So look for the next update to come on Sunday. In the meantime, on this Friday morning, that's all I've got. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.